Hey everybody, and welcome to MoMentum Minute. I'm Mo O'Brien. Delighted that you're spending some time with me this week. You know, so many people are experiencing really tough times right now. And I think that kindness and care and compassion could go a long way if each of us was willing to do some extension of kindness, care, and compassion. Let me tell you about something that happened to me on Friday of last week. My husband needed to go to the hospital to have some tests done, and because of COVID, I did not think that I would be able to go with him. So we got to the hospital relatively early, and they invited me in to the medical center, which I was quite surprised, and asked a whole group of questions about where I had been and if I had a temperature and had I been exposed to anybody with COVID. My husband had had a COVID test. It was a requirement of having the test that he was currently going to experience. And, you know, just being at the hospital for me because of my time going through cancer is really tough. I mean, that is a really tough place for me to be. And one of my very closest friends, Britta McKenna, offered that she would come and we could sit in the parking lot together, because I certainly didn't think that they were going to allow me in past the medical center to be with Dan. And so she was going to bring coffee and we were going to sit in the parking lot, and that would be great. I'd have somebody to talk to and keep my mind occupied. So, as they invited us to sit down in the medical center in the waiting room, I realized that Britta was on her way and she was bringing coffee and I wasn't going to meet her. And so I sent her a text and said, listen, they're going to let me stay with Dan, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm really sorry. And she said, well, when they take him back to have his test, just come out. And so I said, okay. And the next thing that happened is we got invited back to the Bay where they prepped Dan for this test, and they invited me to sit with him while he was being prepped. So I did that. And when it was actually time for them to take him, one of the nurses said to me, you can stay right here. I'll close this curtain so you have some privacy. And so I sent Britta a text and said, I'm not coming out. I'm sorry. Just take that coffee home. Please say some prayers. And the next thing that happened is the little nurse that had originally greeted us and brought us back to the Bay, who was just like sunshine in a little body, came in and she said, I'd like you to follow me. And I thought, okay. And so I followed her and she said, I'm going to show you how to get outside. And I was thinking, this is kind of odd. Like, do I look like I'm needing to be outside? What is happening here exactly? And when she opened the door, she pointed to the right, and this is what I saw. There was Britta. She had set up a little table with a tablecloth and flowers and 2 cups of coffee, so that she and I could enjoy the beauty of the day as I waited for the news. I started to sob. And so did the nurses who followed me out. They couldn't believe that somebody would do this for somebody else. Care, kindness, and compassion. You know, those nurses now are talking about maybe offering that for other people who are waiting for folks who are having tests. One act: care, kindness, and compassion. What will you do to extend care, kindness, and compassion to somebody else today? I hope you'll follow the example of my dear friend Britta and actually do something that makes somebody else's life a little easier. In the meantime, be well and stay well.